Namaste. In our continued bliss of enjoying Sri Krishna's names in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, yet another episode on Naama Geetha. Now, let's remember AD. Now, what is AD? We are not talking about this 2000 odd years and all that. Our Sanatana Dharma is millions of years ahead. But this AD, I want you to remember Anubhava Dhara. Life is a stream of experiences, and that's what makes the life very interesting. And we are going to talk about a name which will reflect the concept of Anubhava Dhara very well. Let's first go to the sloka. Just to recollect that we are in the 11th chapter enjoying Sri Krishna's Vishwarupa Darshana through Arjuna. So in this episode, we are going to look at two slokas in 11th chapter. Sloka 17 and Sloka 42 of 11th chapter. The sloka is
Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejorashim sarvato diptimantam pashyami tvam durniriksham samantat deeptanalarka dyutim aprameyam yachavahasartha masatkritosi viharashayya sanabhojaneshu ekothavaapyachyuta tatsamaksham takchamaye tvam aham aprameyam.
Now, this sloka you would have observed a name called Aprameya. That is the name that we are going to talk about. Lord being addressed or mentioned as Aprameya in these two slokas, and let's enjoy the Anubhava of the Aprameya. Before we go into this, let's go to the small story or an episode from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a Mahakavya, a Itihasa par excellence which can only be matched by another Itihasa, Ramayana. So in Mahabharata, there is so much Anubhava in various chapters. In every chapter of Mahabharata, you will have very, very different and unique Anubhava. Now we are going to look when Sri Krishna walks into Hastinapura as Pandavaduta just to broker a peace between the Pandavas and the Duryodhana and the Kauravas. Now Duryodhana thought he obviously, as another opposite king, he wanted to get the best person into his fold. So he decided to floor Sri Krishna with a kind of majestic welcome right from the border of his country up all the way up to the palace by just flummoxing. He thought he could flummox Krishna by varieties of dances and the way Krishna is welcomed, and of course the grand banquet that he could host to Sri Krishna. So he was all prepared and everything. But what he didn't realize is Sri Krishna had different plans. He doesn't fall for such things. He goes automatically where there is a pure heart. Where did Sri Krishna go? We all know he went to the hut of Vidura. Vidura is one of the advisors in the Kaurava kingdom, and Vidura is not a rich person within courts. And all he had is a very small hermitage in which he was living a very simple life. Now when Krishna enters that hermitage, what does Vidura do? Does he give him Purna Kumbha welcome? Or does he give him a majestic welcome? No. He actually doesn't know what to do because Sri Krishna lands in his house, a very small hut, and Vidura is completely out of bounds or out of wits to know how to handle him. Again, an Anubhava Dhara that Vidura himself is enjoying. Now what does he do after that? He puts one small wooden plank and then makes Krishna, offers the seat to that. He doesn't even have a chair or a big majestic chair or something. And what does Vidura do there is, keeps running his hands. He says Krishna sit, but actually running his hands on the plank. What is he actually doing? He's checking as if there is any small nails or any thorns that could prick Sri Krishna. Again an Anubhava that he wants to ensure Sri Krishna is comfortable even it is a small plank. And when Sri Krishna sits there, Vidura offers him what? Not a banquet of 16 course meal or 100 course meal. He offers him a bunch of bananas. And in his bhakti, in the whole Anubhava that Sri Krishna is right in front of him, he takes each banana from that stream and removes the outer peel and throws the fruit and gives the peel to to Sri Krishna. He doesn't even realize 5, 6, 7 peels he gives. The banana is out, the peel is with Sri Krishna, and here is the important fact. Sri Krishna happily consumes the peel offered with love. All we need to remember that Sri Krishna is looking for just the genuine love. He doesn't even look what you offer. Patram, Pushpam, Palam, Thoyam is what the Veda says. You can give food, a very little simple food, or just one flower, Palam, just one fruit, as Vidura gave, even if it is a peel, Thoyam, just water. All he looks at is what you give, but how you give. Is there pure bhakti, pure love? And that is what Krishna looks at. Aprameya. Duryodhana thought he knew Krishna and that he can be flummoxed and floored by just a welcome or his 100-course meal. He didn't even know anything. In fact, none of us know anything. If we realize we don't know Sri Krishna, the more we will know him, the more he gets closer to us, because Sri Krishna is a Lord of embodiment, whereas Aprameya, he just can't be defined, just can't be put in a boundary saying this is what Sri Krishna is. There is a temple south of Chennai called Oppiliyappan Kovil. In Tamil it is Oppiliyappan, but if you actually break the words, it's Oppillappan, one who doesn't have any comparison. There is a Lord by that name, so you can't even give an equivalent of it. So how do we observe or identify something? There are about 5 ways in which we understand or learn about a particular person or an object. What are they? First is Pratyaksham. I need to see it right in front of my eyes, then I will accept Pratyaksham. Then Anumanam, inference. We say inference. I have few examples or experiences in life, Anubhavadhara. Based on this experience, what I see now, I infer and say yes, A is equal to B. That's what I do as Anumana. Then third is Upamana. I have examples equivalent to it. Then I use that example to relate to this so that I have seen this, based on this I will understand this. This is where we saw Oppillappan. He has got no Upamana. Then he has what is called as a Aprameya. How do we learn or understand about a particular object or a person or any learning or knowledge? How do we do? We first use Pratyaksha, what I have a first-hand experience. I need to feel it, I need to see it, I need to hear about it, all by first-hand experience. So that is what we call as Pratyaksha. Then we use our experience, Anubhavadhara, in Anumana. I infer. First I am doing first-hand learning, then I start using my experience to infer. Take for example, when we walk back from work and get into our home, we see the roads are wet, the trees, the leaves next to, as we walk around, we see drips of water coming in, and then we see some small pools of water stagnated. What do we infer? That it has rained recently. How did we know this? Because we have seen the rain earlier, and based on that we are able to infer inference. Then we have Upama. How do we learn? Again by an example, a connected example. Today you give our children a mobile phone, they will have no clue how a phone works because they just start using it. But we know how the landline telephone works, how we connected with people, and then how the technology has transformed from a fixed line to a mobile line, and probably we'll share this experience to teach our next generation as to how things have evolved and what exactly is a telephone is. Upama, an example. And now is Apta Pramana is the next one. Apta Pramana means we go to the elders and take their knowledge, seek their knowledge, and then learn from them. Traditionally, how do we learn? Going to a school or a college or do a PhD, we have a guide. We learn a lot of our materialistic things, whatever that gives us money today. How did we learn? Everything going to a teacher. About Krishna, we need to definitely have an acharya, a teacher, through whom we can go and learn more about Sri Krishna. Apta Pramana. So, Pramana is established by a guru who has learnt it by himself. Then the last but not the least would be the Shabda Pramana. You have transformed all this way. Finally, where is the source? The Vedas. Shabdam also means the Vedas is referred as a Shabda, and they are a Pramana where everything about Sri Krishna is clearly explained. So we have, just to recollect, we learn by Pratyaksha, by personal experiences, by Anumana, by inferences, by Upama, by examples, by Apta Pramana, by learning from elders, from Acharyas, then Shabda Pramana from the Vedas itself. Now here comes Aprameya. We've crossed all this process. Do we see Krishna in Pratyaksha form? Well, if you are blessed enough by Sri Krishna himself, we may see him. Do we have inference? Yes, we do inference because we go to temples, we see pictures, we have seen movies, and we believe that this is how Krishna is. We have an inference. Upama, there is no Upama to Sri Krishna. There is a temple down south, beyond Chennai. There is a place called Oppaliyappan Kovil. In Tamil, it's called Oppaliyappan. If you break it, it says Oppilla Appan, one who has no equal or one who has no relevant example to compare. Incomparable is what we are saying. So, by Upama, we can't learn about or understand about Sri Krishna. Then, Apta Pramana, yes, we have Acharyas in plenty who are knowledgeable, who have been blessed with among knowledge about Sri Krishna. We can surrender to them and seek knowledge. Yes, we can learn. Shabda Pramana, yes, we can learn the Vedas from traditional Pandits. From there, we go learn and understand the deep meanings of Veda and understand Krishna. But can all this put a boundary to Sri Krishna? No, because Aprameya, that is the same Vedas, which says that you can't explain Sri Krishna in any particular boundary. Naiti, Naiti, Naiti is what it says, because I can't put him in this, not this, not this. I can't put him in this boundary. Is he 6 feet, 8 feet tall? No, we can't say. Is it 100 kilos? No, we can't say. He's got only 4 hands? No, because Vishwarupa, we are just seeing how he is demonstrating himself. And that is why in the 11th chapter, when Arjuna is blessed with the Vishwarupa Darshana by Sri Krishna himself, he says, oh, you're Aprameya. I mean, you see the contradiction, right? Arjuna is being blessed by Sri Krishna himself. He is seeing Sri Krishna in his full form, Vishwarupa, but he says, you are beyond all this. I can't even put a figure into you. You are Aprameya. And he says, you are not just Aprameya. You are just Tejas. You are just glowing everywhere. And he says, you are beyond sun, because at any time, sun can glow at its might only in one part of the earth. Now, Sri Krishna is glowing all around us. So he is beyond all these things. He is Tejas, like a fire. He is putting in a lot of energy into it. So Arjuna is kind of, excited, bewildered at the form of Vishwarupa that we have earlier seen. That are all this, he says, please come in a traditional four-armed form. That is how Arjuna is asking him. So Aprameya here, it says very clearly that you cannot fit Sri Krishna into a boundary of X, Y, Z. You have to realize and worship that we cannot understand him. The more we understand and realize that we cannot understand Sri Krishna, like Sri Vidura, we will be blessed with his divine blessings and then support all the times as Achyuta. In Sloka 11 and 17, 11th chapter and 17th Sloka and 11th chapter and 42nd Sloka is what we are referring to in this episode. So, having realized Arjuna with that bewilderment, he also asks for an apology. Why apology? Because Arjuna grew with Krishna. He was there together all the time. That means Arjuna took him for granted. So he has treated him as a friend, a Sakha. He has treated him as probably servant. We know in the Kurukshetra war that he is using Sri Krishna as his charioteer, as his driver. And what does he do? And what is the role of a chariot? I mean, you will actually, tears will roll when you know the chariot and what Sri Krishna does for Arjuna, that the chariot is all at a very different height in traditional chariots. One person cannot just step into it. So normally the charioteer bends near the step. The person who gets into the charioteer places the leg on the shoulder, then on the step and steps into the chariot. Imagine Sri Krishna doing this for Arjuna. And that is his benevolence. And servant leadership we are all talking about in management today, that is Krishna. He has epitomized servant leadership in those days, that he is a Paramatma, Sarveshwara, Purushottama. And what is he doing? He bends near the chariot for Arjuna to place his leg and then get into chariot. And Arjuna realizes what he has committed. And while the thick of the war, obviously later, he uses his leg to tell Krishna to move right or left. But at that time, I'm sure he realized what he's doing, but in the thick of the war. But now he says, Krishna, I have taken you for granted. I have treated you as my servant. I have asked you to do few things. And now I realize you are Aprameya. I can't even define you in certain few words or few sentences or anything. And please accept my apology is what Arjuna is asking. Let's realize that we casually take our Krishna. Sometimes he likes, obviously because out of love we do it. But there is a gang outside which talks ill of Sri Krishna. Do you think he's going to leave them like that? No. Let's realize that Sri Krishna is Aprameya. He is indefinable. But at the same time, he is the most benevolent where he sees true love, just as Vidura. That he will land right in front of you. And here again, Arjuna uses the term Achyuta, because Achyuta is the term, that first name Arjuna uses when the Bhagavad Gita starts, a name that we should all remember all the time, because Krishna as Achyuta never leaves us at any time. All he looks for is true bhakti and love, that we surrender unto him, and he holds us all the time and ensures we are protected. So let's worship Sri Krishna as Aprameya and be blessed always. Namaste.
Madhava Achyuta Krishna Hare Rishikesha Kesava Govinda Vasudeva Bhagavan Janardana